Hi everyone, Niv here. It's that time of year again. It's time to go over what decks I want to get for 2025. So let's go over to my computer and we will see what's on my list. All right, let's go. Hello everyone, Niv here, and here we are at my computer, and I have opened my Notion and my 2025 monthly deck purchase plans. As you can see, some of these things I have already checked off. So yeah, yeah, basically, I mean, you can see the full list here, but I'm also going to go through most of these decks, yeah, so I've already checked off, as you can see, I don't know if you'll see my mouse here, but I checked off 3 Japanese decks. I'm not going to show them on camera, but I think either the next video after this or 2 videos after this, I'm actually going to go through all 3 of these on camera because I already bought them, so checked off. I also got the Illuminated Earth and the Wild Unknown Archetypes, and I got those in the first month of the year, and they were gifted to me by someone here on YouTube, and I will have videos of those up as well. I think actually the one for Illuminated Earth went up right before this one. But anyway, and the ones in red here are decks that I initially had on my list, but for some reason or another, I moved them to next year. And actually, the reason is because Faceted Garden is done by the same person that did Illuminated Earth. And since I already got Illuminated Earth, I think I'll move Faceted Garden to next year. And same reason for the Wild Unknown Alchemy. I got the archetypes, and so I'll push off Alchemy for 2026. So there we go. The decks in white are the ones that I definitely want to get this year. And then the decks in blue are ones that I'm interested in getting, but I'm not definitely going to get them. It's, you know, if I have the opportunity and I feel like the opportunity is slipping away, then I'll get them, or they might be on wish lists, things like that. So maybe they'll be gifted to me. Yeah, so that's where we're at. So I'm going to go through some of these decks. Okay, so first off here, I have the Star Power Tarot. Let me actually move this over a little bit. Here we go. I have the Star Power Tarot and on the list here, as well as the Moon Power, which I can navigate to that one here, and it is on sale currently, so maybe this might be the next one I get. I'm not sure. But I absolutely love the Mars Power Tarot. That's one that I already have, and I've had for about a year now, and I love it. It's connected to one of my Japanese decks in my collection, and but I feel like from what I've seen from the Star Power, it seems to be a bit more faithful to the RWS system, supposedly, whereas the Mars Power is kind of... I love the energy of it, but it's a little difficult for me to read because the imagery doesn't always line up with what... you know, I'm generally an RWS reader. You know, I do step out of that. I would like to learn Marseille. That's on the list of things to learn and study. But through and through, I'm an RWS girly, and so the Mars Power is a little difficult for me to read, even though I love the energies of it. And yeah, I mean, it's a beloved deck in my collection. It's just a little bit difficult to read. Whereas from what I've seen of the Star Power, this one might be a bit easier for me to read. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, the art of from Six Sad Girls is just absolutely amazing, and I do plan to connect this deck with one of my Japanese decks as well. So let me find catalog. Okay, here we go. Found it. So that's why I was having some trouble. It's currently sold out. So that kind of sucks, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll come back in stock eventually, but I feel like I might want to jump on the Star Power soon. And it does look like it's actually a pre-order. So that's interesting. So looks like, does it say? It doesn't say when it's coming out. At least if it says, I'm looking over it right now. But wow, okay. Wow, what is this? $936? What is this? Holy mo! Oh, 20 Moon Power Tarot decks. Wow. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so the only one from Six Sad Girls I'm actually not interested in is the Jupiter Power. I don't know why. It's just there's something about this deck that I just am having a hard time personally connecting to. I don't think I really like the art style in this one, even though it's obviously done by the same company. But I don't know. There's something about the Jupiter Power that just misses the mark for me. But yeah, so basically ASAP. Whenever I get around to it. Well, I have March or April listed for Star Power. But we'll see. It might be sooner. No, I don't think I'm going to buy anything in February, honestly. All right, so I've talked about that enough. So the next two decks I have on my wish list are the Witch's Tarot and the Three Black Moons Oracle. These two go together, obviously. Yeah, nudity warning on this one, but I absolutely love this deck. It is beautiful. I love the artwork. I love the rawness of this. I love the nudity. Yeah, this is a very empowering feeling deck to me, and I don't know. It's one that I almost feel like I would really want to use with on Morrigan or energies like that. Yeah, I really, really like this deck, and I keep almost checking out on this deck. I think, so yeah, I have April listed for both of these, and I think I kind of want to get them together because there is a slight, a discount if you get them together, a slight discount. So I'm tempted to get them both together on the same year, and I think that's what I want to do. I kind of want to get these two decks together, and I mean it's absolutely stunning. I don't know. It's like the power in this is it's indescribable. Indescribable. I feel something when I look at these photography images of this witch power. I love it. So yeah, so both of those are on my wish list. I'd really like to get both of them this year. And if I like, basically, I have Star Power and Moon Power listed for March or April, and I have Witch's Tarot and Three Moons Oracle for April. So I guess that's what I'm going for. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. All right, so next up, I just put Robert M. Place decks. Oh, sorry about my phone, just made a noise. But I just picked, I put Robert M. Place decks, and I think I might get out the Alchemical Tarot sooner rather than later. Oh man, because there's only 3 left in stock, and this one just it goes out of stock a lot, And yeah, I really enjoy Robert M. Place's artwork, style of decks, and they are very deep. And I have this one. Do I have this book on my wish list, or maybe I can't remember, but yeah, I think I'm trying to form my words here, but there's something about his work specifically that I feel very drawn to, and I would like to get at least one of his decks this year. And he's got a bunch that are just amazing, and this is amazing. A Japanese Lenormand deck here, which of course is something I'm going to be interested in. First Occult Tarot. Wow. And then there's other, like, I know he has that vampire one that's totally out of print and costs like a gajillion dollars. But yeah. So I think I will probably get the Alchemical Tarot if I can within the next couple months. But the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery is also one I'm interested in. This Buddha Tarot looks fantastic. I also like this one. Yeah, I love the simple, thick line work artwork. All right, so that is the rubber and place decks. I will get one or two, or I don't know. Okay, so next up, this is something that I think I'm going to take off my list because I think I might go with the book instead. So this is it's not an oracle deck, it's a spread deck. And the deck itself is the spread on one side and the meaning on the other side. The questions on the other side. And, in general, I don't like decks that are like that because I only have one deck that is front to back like that. And it's something I definitely avoid. However, this is not really meant to necessarily be used as an oracle. It's not really meant to be shuffled and then randomly pulled, but you could do it that way. That said, I think, because I am interested in this sort of thing where a thing of spreads, and because I like to use spreads with my tarot, but I think I would rather have the book for it. And I don't know if I want to get it on Kindle or a physical copy, but I think I'm leaning more toward the book. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think I'm going to get the book and not the deck. All right, so that's decided. So next up, I have the Sacred Cycles Oracle here, and now I have this on my list because I've started a practice in 2025 of doing tarot readings, oracle readings, some sort of divinatory type of readings around my menstrual cycle, and because it's a way to connect with my body and the cycles of my body and things like that, and it's something I just want to connect more with. So obviously decks having to do with menstruation are something that's going to pique my interest when it comes to this. That said, like every time I go to add this to my cart, there's something about this deck that maybe is just not working for me in my mind. And I'm a little nervous about that. Let me look through the pictures of, the cards, they are cool. I'm not sure how I want to use these. Because it's basically got different cards that represent different phases in the in a menstrual cycle. There's different archetypes. There are different moon cards, things like that. And I like the idea of it. I'm just there's a slight blockage. Like I want to get this deck, but there's something that's sort of blocking me, and I can't quite put this is someone else's a different deck, but there's something that I can't quite pinpoint about what's stopping me from getting this deck. But there we go. It's on my list, and I have it in white, so it's something I'm planning on getting. And I have it listed as February ? So, but I don't think I'm gonna get a deck in February. I keep adding one to my cart and then not, So I don't know. Sorry, my phone keeps making noises. I apologize. Then next on my list, I have the Samia Tarot, and we've all seen this. This is absolutely amazing, stunning art, photography, and this is when I think of a deep deck, this is a deep deck, with some serious energies to it, and I love it. I've had it on my list for a while. I didn't have it on my official list last year, but it's on my list now, and I think I want to get it this year. Now I know they also have an animated version, not animated, but illustrated version of this deck, but I don't really like that one. I definitely like the photography one. So it's on my list. We'll see. Next up, the Sylvankine Oracle. Now this is a beautiful deck. This is a deck that I am definitely planning on getting this year. Let's see, shop Tarot Oracle. Let me see if it shows up. So yeah, okay. So it's $75 Canadian. What is that in US dollars? Okay, so it is $52. What? I don't know what that is, but about $52, which is not bad. That's not bad. So I am in. I definitely want to get this year. So this deck really makes me think of, like, this is a Fae type of deck for me. Like, this is, I have the Guardian Tarot, and I feel like this is almost a better version of that, even though that's a tarot and this is an oracle. But I mean, those, I feel like they can be read together, and I feel like it's got a similar energy, and there's something about this that I just like more than that one. So yeah. Yeah, every time I see this deck on someone's channel, I'm just like, yeah, I really want this. So Sylvankind is absolutely on my list. All right, next up, Witch Sister Tarot. Okay, so I've had the other one, the Tarot of the Hidden Realms, on my list for a long time that I just never got. And I don't know, maybe someday I will get it, but it's, it's still pretty mass market, so I'm not in any sort of rush to get it. But there is something about the energies of the Witch Sister that just really draws me in. I mean, this is, it gives me a similar energy as the Witch's Tarot. It's just kind of this darker energy, darker goddess energy. Yeah. Let me look at people's pictures here. Yeah. Yeah, I want this. The thing I'm not, that I'm a little nervous about is the cardstock, because I mean, I don't think I've ever really heard anyone say anything negative about this. I mean, this person obviously had a miscut deck. That happens. I think it's this picture here that I'm looking at that I feel like the cardstock might bug me. But I'm not sure. I mean, it's just something that... So I think that's kind of what's stopping me a little bit, is I'm not sure what the cardstock is going to be like, but I did like add this to my cart this month and then took it off, and that same sort of thing. All right, and this is another deck that I keep adding to my list and then taking off, and adding to my list and taking off. And I'm so glad that it's available now for mass market, because I was really, really interested in this deck. That said, the images on Amazon, I don't really like them. Like, it makes me not want to get the deck, the images on Amazon. I don't know why. Maybe it's the stark white background that is making this not seem as cool as it looks on YouTube when other people are using this deck. Because when people are using this deck, I'd want it. I definitely want this deck. But when I look at it on Amazon, I'm like, do I? Like, I don't know. It seems odd. Like there's something... I don't know. Maybe it's just the white background that, I don't know what it is. But in use, this deck is fantastic. And one of the reasons why I love this deck, and one of the other ones it's blue on my list. So I want it, but I may or may not get it this year, is the desert theme. So the desert theme is something that I'm definitely connected with. And that is because I am from the desert. Currently, I live in New England. So, I obviously very far away from the desert, and I've lived in New England since about 2014. So quite some time now. It's been more than 10 years, which is shocking to me, actually. I still feel like completely new to New England, even though I've lived here for 10 years. But I'm originally from the Mojave Desert in Southern California, so 29 Palms, Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree. That's where I'm from. That's where I was born and raised. So that energy draws me in, and it feels like home. And I will pull up the other one that I was talking about. I think it's this one. So the Outlaw Oracle. This is in blue on my list, so I may not get this year, but I might. And it's currently out of stock, so if there's a reprinting, maybe I will jump on it and get it. But yeah, so but I love this one because it does make me, it's really reminiscent of the energies of growing up in the desert. Yeah, so that desert energy is something that tends to draw me in on deck with decks. So and this one is a bit more New Mexico because it's got a lot of those alien energies and yeah. But I feel like this might pair pretty well with the Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle. It might even pair well with my Star Trek decks. Yeah. So this is a deck though that I keep adding to my cart this month and then like taking off and be like, okay, maybe next deck. So I feel like I'm gonna get this deck pretty soon. I'm not in a super rush because it is mass market, but yeah. All right, so the next one was the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck. I like this because it feels very cartomantic. And I've really been drawn to the cartomantic style decks lately. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, that I think what I'm trying to say, it gives me the same vibes as say like a Lenormand deck or the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, those sorts of decks. That's what this sort of gives me here, and I like the colors and the simple imagery and simple keyword. I like that. And this style of deck is something that I've been drawn to more and more lately. So I would like to get this. It is mass market, so I'm not in a rush. Yeah. All right, so I think that was everything that's in white that I definitely want to get this year if I get the chance to. Okay, I'm gonna cut this in here real quick. I already completed the video, but I'm just cutting this in real quick and editing. I completely forgot about this deck. In fact, I almost bought it in January. And sorry if you can hear the dog behind me. She's eating her food. But yeah, so I have the Terra Arcanae and the Ignis Arcanae on my wish list as well. So I have, of course, the Ocean Tarot. This is the Earth one. The Ignis is right here. Here we go. Also this. The Ignis is the fire. And the Terra is the earth, of course. So yeah, both of these are on my list, but I'm only going to get one this year. So it's either going to be the Terra or the Ignis. Kind of love the dinosaurs, yeah. But at the same time, I think this was my planned one to get next, and I also really like this one. So yeah, so both of these are on my list, but because Taylor Brin's decks are pretty pricey. I mean, they're all about $75 each, plus shipping, I think. I don't know what the shipping cost is. Free shipping. So they're each $75. That is like right at my kind of max on what I'm willing to spend on a tarot deck. So because of that, I'm kind of planning on getting like one of their decks a year. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but sometime this year I will get either the Terra Arcanae or the Ignis Arcanae. All right. So some of the decks that I have in blue. This is strong contenders, decks that I want, but right now they're not high on my priority to get this year, but I would love to receive them as a gift maybe. So they're on wish lists. And if, some of these decks are kind of out of stock or whatever, and so when they come back, I might jump on it and get it. So they're like maybe decks for this year. So the Poesis Oracle or Poesis, Poesis, I've heard it pronounced like a bunch of different ways, but my instinct is to say Poesis. But that's my instinct. I don't know if that's correct. Anyway, so this is an interesting deck. Again, I like that simple art. And it's not so simple, but it's very, it is black and white, or more like black and cream. I like this. It feels, I've overused this word, but it feels very esoteric. It feels like it's got a lot of meaning behind the imagery. And that's something that I feel like that draws me in, that I feel drawn to, is imagery that seems like it's got a lot of meaning behind it, which is kind of funny because I don't tend to enjoy that kind of like in the art world, it can come off as a little pretentious, you know, but this doesn't feel pretentious to me. And I like it. And it seems like it makes sense, you know, for the imagery I see on it and the keyword that it provides. It makes sense to me. That said, I think it's based on poetry, and one of the things that I do not like in general, I don't really like poetry, so yeah, it's just not something I ever really enjoyed very much. But this deck I like, you know, and it feels like a deck from that company Usi that does the what do they do? It's the Pagan Otherworlds and those types of decks. It feels like they created this sort of deck, even though obviously it's not created by the Usi company. It's a completely different creator, which I don't even know the creator. Does it say it here? I don't know the creator. Anyway, so yeah, but I like it. It's cool. It's on my maybe list. Outlaw Oracle, I just talked about. Under the Oak Tarot. So this is a mass market deck. I'm in no rush to get it, but I do really like it. You know, let me see. Here's some imagery. I do like this. It's one of those decks that I feel like I don't really need. I just really like the imagery. It's whimsical and magical and pretty, and it feels like an everyday reader type of deck to me. Yeah, so it's on my blue list. All right, so Tarot of the Crystal World. Yeah, so here's the thing. This deck, I keep wanting. Yeah, every time I see people work with this deck, I want it. But every time I go to look it up and try to add it to my card or whatever, you know, there's other decks I'd rather get. So I don't know that I'll ever actually get this one. One of the decks that it reminds me of is the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. This deck really reminds me of that. I don't know, like, it's kind of similar art. I think it's coloring. It's the coloring of the cards that make me think of the Cosmic Slumber. But I do like the theme of this deck. It's very LGBTQ, which of course I love, you know. But yeah, it's on my blue list, and it's still available. I actually thought it was out of print, but it does look like it's still available, and that's not a bad price at all. So sorry about my phone again. All right. Anyway, so then next up, I have the Joe Sparrow on here, and this is a deck that like I keep looking at from a Marine at Waves Through Your Soul. Every time she talks about this deck, I'm like, oh my God, I'm reminded that I love this deck, you know, and I keep wanting to get it. So yeah, it's on my list. Let's see, it's 35 pounds. I don't know what that is in, I think it's more in USD, but I don't know. I think, okay. Shipping from the UK can be kind of expensive. That's what I found out because, you know, last year I had the Tildwick on my wish list, and I would love to get that deck. But once you add in the shipping, that deck is over $100 for me. And I just can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, I just, so it's only 35 pounds. I don't know what that translates to in dollars, but I also am not sure what the shipping price is going to be. And that's, I think, maybe what's holding me back from getting this, even though I really love it. And every time Maureen has it on her channel, I'm just like, oh my God, I love that deck. All right, so let's see. All right, The Unfinished Business, Ghostly Tarot by MJ Cullinane. I'm a big fan of MJ Cullinane's work. I have several of their decks, and this one was one that I initially wasn't interested in, even though I'm very, you know, I'm very into like genealogy and things like that. So like my ancestor work is something that is something is a practice that I'm trying to maintain in my spirituality, and I feel like, of course, this lends very well to that sort of practice. But it like I wasn't quite there with this deck, and I feel like I'm starting to get there with this deck now. And I think I do actually want it. And I love the independent versions of MJ Cullinane's decks. I have some of their mass market decks, and I have some of their independent decks. And I definitely prefer the independent. I like the cardstock more, the ones that they use. So hopefully that's the same cardstock here. A lot of people don't seem to like the independent cardstock from MJ Cullinane, but I love it. It's easy for me to shuffle. It slides nicely, whereas I have a much more difficult time shuffling the mass market decks. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get it whenever it's available. I might move this to the white category instead of the blue category. So we'll see. Yeah. All right. So the last two here. All right, so I've got the Mystic Martian Oracle. Initially, this was a deck I think I saw on Don Michelle's channel. I think so. Yeah, and I love it. It's silly. It's wacky. It's a little starseedy, a little wooey, but but in a very like weird like you know, aliens kind of way. Yeah, I think I just really enjoy this, and I feel like I would enjoy playing with this with a lot of my other spacey themed decks, especially like my Star Trek Tarot. I feel like this might go well with. Yeah, but it's on my blue list. It's not a deck I'm jumping to get, but I would be very happy to receive it. So finally, I have an out-of-print deck here, and this is the Cursed Auguries, and I put this on my list because someone on YouTube is doing a giveaway of some of their decks, and this was one of them. And this was a deck that I kind of lost hope on getting because it's been out of print for quite some time, and I am interested in getting this. So I think it's the artwork on this is it's very dark, which I do like. I like dark. I like mysterious. I like creepy. So I've been kind of looking for a deck to use for menstrual readings, and I kind of like this for that. It's dark and mysterious and kooky and weird and I don't know what the right words I'm trying to find for this, but yeah, I want it. So if the person who's selling this deck, if they choose me to purchase it, then I think I probably will. But I don't know how much it's going to cost because New Zealand $75. I don't know what that is for US dollars. All right, so that's not expensive. Okay. So that's how much it cost on the site. I'm just kind of gauging how much it might cost to purchase it from the other individual. So I'm guessing about $50 is probably what it's going to cost. And I think if they choose me, I think I might go ahead and get it. But it's a very real chance I won't get this deck. All right, so that was everything. I'm going to leave it back at the beginning, the star power here. Actually, I'm going to leave it on this. And I also separated out mass market versus independent. So there we go. Yeah, so that is my 2025 purchase plans, Tarot Oracle, my wish list, what I'm hoping to get this year. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!